My name's Lukas. I am 21 years old. I am a year sober from Kratom and about 2 years sober from alcohol.
Being 21, you never have had a legal drink in your entire life.
I have never had a legal drink in my entire life. I got sober when I was still 19 years old.
Wow.
So, like, from alcohol, pretty soon, unfortunately, getting addicted to Kratom, like having all of those there. But I didn't get sober through rehab or a program. I just kind of had the rock bottom hit. Really just like the supportive family got me through it. I was living at my mom's for like a period where everything was very hectic in the household. It was just like a drinking household, basically. Everybody was getting drunk together every night, and everybody was fighting every night. So it got to like the point where I have very little recollection of the night, but I had been mixing alcohol with pills, and my mom, she remembers it. Basically, I woke up the next morning and there was somebody else like with me, and I was like, what? I knew that something bad had happened. That was like kind of where my memory was at when I woke up. I was like, what happened? And then my sister comes down and another friend comes down into my room, and they explain it to me. What happened was that I got way too drunk. My mom got way too drunk and just fight like usual, but I wasn't like backing down like I typically do. Mm-hmm. And it just kept on escalating to where she was saying, I'm going to call the police. She was like going upstairs with a knife, like being like, this knife is too dull to cut myself. Like there was just... it was a very damaging night for like everybody involved, and it was rock bottom for me. So I grabbed all my stuff and just went over to my dad's house and just moved in there, and things changed pretty rapidly for me, going away from alcohol because of just like I'm an addict, I need another drink. I need another, like I was getting to the point in my alcoholism where I'm throwing up blood, like often. I'm like calling people like, hey, do you think that there's something wrong with me? And then they tell me, no, you need to stop drinking. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And like, it was getting to the point where I'm spending hundreds of dollars on alcohol every week, like drinking around half a handle a day throughout the day. I was really a serial drunk driver as well, okay. Which is like one of the parts that I'm embarrassed about, but like I find disgusting because like I know how dangerous it was like now, but there was very little times during my alcoholism that like if I wasn't driving somebody else, and even when I was driving like friends and stuff, I would be absolutely like plastered. I would be to the point where there was parties that I just woke up in my own bed and I'm like, how did I get here? Like, and my car's parked halfway on the lawn, and I'm like, well, I made it home safe, I guess, but like, I don't know, something else could have happened like while I was out there. So it really got to a point like that was my rock bottom with my mom, and I just went over to my dad's and didn't drink again from there. I think part of that probably is the fact that I went within months of getting sober from alcohol. I got sober in December of 2023, or a little before December. And I pretty much immediately went from that, like drinking all the time, to starting to dabble in Kratom like pretty soon after that.
Okay. How'd you find Kratom? There's a lot of talk of stuff going on right now with Kratom, and this is definitely, I would love to have somebody who's an expert on it, right? And that would be you, and kind of discuss some of this. First of all, what is Kratom?
So Kratom is a plant from Southeast Asia. It is typically used like, kind of like how we would use like caffeine, how people in South America use cocaine, like just taking the leaf, nibbling on it, like not processing it, that type of thing. in very, very low doses. So the chemical in it that produces the high is metrogynin,
Okay.
which above about 15 grams is able to go ahead and produce a opioid high, or it starts to act on the mu receptor. It's what's known as like a partial opioid agonist.
Wow.
So it's not like a full opioid agonist, where that's why a lot of people think of it as safer, those types of things. But essentially, when it was used in Southeast Asia and those countries, it's more used as like a stimulant, because up until 15 grams of the metrogynin, you are actually experiencing a stimulant effect.
Okay.
So the first 15 milligrams, grams is a stimulant effect, and then beyond that, it starts to act on the mu opioid receptor.
And this is completely legal.
This is completely legal. There's no age restrictions on it.
And they sell this at gas stations.
They sell this at gas stations, and it's really like, even so, what has happened from like when it came from Southeast Asia to here is that like when it came to the West, we do what we do with all of those types of things, and we concentrated it. We processed the crap out of it and made it as potent as possible. So everything in in the West is typically going to be something that is just a partial opioid agonist. It's an opioid. Like
Yep.
it's going to activate that mu opioid receptor. And then from there's another part of it called 7-OH is what most people just call it, because it's kind of hard to say. And that is what actually pretty much gets you the high, because metrogynin gets processed through the liver and turns into 7-OH metrogynin, or hydroxymetrogynin.
Okay.
And that is a lot more potent, to the point where research has shown that 7-OH is 10 to 20 times more potent than morphine.
Wow.
Yeah.
So people, this is, I hear a lot about this stuff, right? So I've been clean from opiates for 10 years. I'm a recovering heroin addict. At the end of heroin addiction, it became all fentanyl, right?
Yeah.
Like this type of stuff wasn't necessarily available. And now if you go to get like a little pocket vape or a pack of cigarettes, you see this crap all over the place.
Yes, it's honestly like you can see like over the last 5 years, just like if you go into a smoke shop, like it's changed from being pretty much just smoke shop, like selling vapes and stuff like that, to the majority of the money that they're making is coming from these. Like I've heard people talk about it where they're getting shipments in and just like selling out within the day. Like they see the same people coming in multiple times a day.
People are physically addicted to this.
Yes, very much so.
And you found yourself physically addicted to this.
I did.
What was that like?
So the like getting addicted I first came like across it just as like my friend, one of my friends who just got clean himself, but he was doing just like powder, which is like the least concentrated form. I got introduced to it.
And they would mix it in a drink? Or
Mix it, yeah. You just mix it into like a drink.
Okay.
Tastes terrible, but you know, yeah.
It's all good things do.
Yeah, exactly. So that was like my first introduction to it, and then I was told that these concentrates were way better, and I just went into a smoke shop. I'm not 21 at the time. I'm 20, and just go in and I'm like, hey, can I have some of that? No ID check, just bought it, left. Wow. And the difference between like a concentrate and like the like powder is like a very big distinction. Like you're getting the one that I was doing the most had I think 1200 grams or milligrams of metrogynin in it. So basically, like if 15 milligrams gets you to like the opioid receptor starting, it's nearly like 1,000 or 100 times that in like one tiny container, one bottle. And that was kind of where it started. Like I was needing it more.
So you take this and you get high.
Yes.
And you knew you had arrived at that point. You were like, I like this.
Yeah. It was very difficult. It was almost immediately that I like had the psychological addiction to it, because it just gave me these like euphoric feelings, just like alcohol did the month prior, and didn't, because of its like partial agonist nature, it can't let you get past a certain point. So
you're high, but not like blitzed, like when you shoot a bag of dope, but you're still.
Yeah, nobody's able to tell like that. I mean, probably some people are, like apparently there is like a look, the like just zoned out look of it things, but like just not really being there, but you can still function to the point where it was like I was using it for schoolwork. I was using it for school. Wow. I was using it to pretty much do anything throughout my day, because I was just like, I'm better at doing it because I'm happier. I'm more energetic. I feel I like all of these things. And it just spiraled so fast because I was like, this is all natural. How bad can it be? In my head. Obviously, I knew that I was getting addicted to something. I had been addicted to alcohol. I knew that this was not like a normal thing. But it just like spiraled so fast from just buying one to like one a week, at like the beginning of the week, to all right, I'm going to buy two, and then I'm going to go ahead and take it on, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I really want to go ahead. Monday was really hard, so I'm going to go ahead and take it Monday night. And then it's like, oh man, I have like 3 classes and I have to go to work. I'm just going to take it to get through that. And then it just becomes every moment. And that's really how I got addicted to the extracts, as well as like there's the other extract type of things like that are being talked about a lot. The specific brand Feel Free is one that people are talking about a lot.
And it's liquid.
Yes, it is.
So it's basically liquid kratom.
Yes. All of the extracts are liquid. Like they all come in like liquid form.
Wow.
And it combined a substance called kava, which acts on like the GABA receptor, similar to alcohol. Like it's that type of thing, combined with kratom in it. So those are the ones that most people see at gas stations. Those are the ones that are sitting right next to the energy drinks, right next to the 5-hour energy, and don't say kratom on them. They just say Feel Free. They don't give you, there's no warnings or anything really on them. And, it's very, very, there's no actual age restriction on any of this. There's companies that are putting down that you have to be 21 plus because they're trying to save their asses when everything goes to shit.
Because it probably is soon,
it is.
Right? Because I don't look at you like you're not some major whistleblower, right? Like you're educating me because I've been out of the game for 10 years, right?
But
there's people in the world that know about this. You and all your friends, right? At 19, 20 are walking into the gas stations buying this. Like this is probably things that are like talked about in schools and college kids, and I imagine it's so easily accessible. You're not driving into like I would have to drive. You couldn't get dope on the streets of Manchester. I had to drive to the city. I'm a 19-year-old kid walking around the streets of Hartford buying heroin. I couldn't walk into a gas station.
It's literally like you go in. I'm gonna stop for gas, and I'm also gonna go ahead and pick up 2 Feel Frees and get high off of like an opiate. Basically, that's how it was like every day. And, the cost definitely started to add up. I was drinking, again, those like the 1,200 milligram like type of ones. I was probably doing 2 of those a day.
Wow.
At like before I was told about 7-OH, which is like an even more intense form. It's faster acting, more intense, and it lasts. It's a shorter high. The half-life is very, very short of all of it, which makes it easier to get addicted. And the guy at the shop was like, it's the same exact thing, you know, just try some. He gave me a free sample, actually.
Of course he did,
yeah,
right?
Of course, yeah.
Of course. So you're going to be in there every day.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was already, so he's like, yeah, you know, it's just it's a little cheaper for you, you know, you get basically what you get in 3 of these in just 1 pack.
Wow.
Perfect. So I buy it, and from there it's 1 pack, then it's 2 packs, then it's 3 packs. And I think that was like where I ended, was I was taking about like 200 to 300 milligrams of 7-OH a day, which again, like I said, like 10 to 20 times more potent than morphine.
Yeah.
And I think I recognized that I was addicted to it when I was on the extracts, I would say.
What did that addiction look like for you, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people associate addiction with stealing or like a lot of these like negative behaviors around it. Like, did you have like health effects? What was addiction like in that way for you?
So I've always had I've always worked like a good bit, so I've always had enough money to be able to support my addictions, for better and for worse, obviously.
Yep.
I would ask for money. My parents are always like, you know, there to be able to help me. So I would be like, can, you know, you transfer $50 out of my account, my savings, into my checking, knowing that they're probably just going to give me $50. And that was kind of like to the extent of the like lying and manipulating. But beyond that, I was like, you know, obviously high constantly. I was never with anybody sober. I'm like going into the bathroom every 30 minutes because the half-life is just like I was, you know, by the time 30 minutes passed, I'm already like starting to itch, like just even just like I just need to get to there, like just get something in me. And it was really just more that I had, it took, you know, all the money that I had. Like it would be $700 a week, somewhere around there, like $500 to $700 a week that I'm spending on these like the little tablets or the drink bottles, whichever one. It was still like similar amounts of money that I was spending on it. I think that like the physical parts of the addiction were the worst for me.
So you were physically addicted like opiates?
Yes. So I remember like the first time feeling the withdrawal symptoms, because I just thought that I was sick, like for like a week and a half. Like I'm like, why the fuck am I waking up in a cold sweat and like feeling like I'm gonna die? Like and like I'm like, oh well, it's obviously this. And instead of going like, oh, I need to stop this, I went, oh, I just need to buy one so that I have one in the morning, so that like immediately when I wake up I can go ahead and just take it and get rid of the withdrawal feelings. But it was I would like fall asleep high and wake up in like withdrawals, like every morning, just like feeling like I had the flu. Like
like real opiate withdrawal.
Yeah. And it was it's like incessant, like, you know, like I would try like really hard, because I would think to myself, well, if I can just get, because I was constantly like, oh, my money's getting out of control, I need to bring it back down a little bit. And whenever I'd try, it would just be like going through war. Like I'd be like sitting in class just like with 2 jackets on, just sweating profusely, like like just like obviously like unwell, like, and I would try and do that and just end up by 2 o'clock every day. Like by the time like I was done with school and headed to work or something, or headed to work, whatever, I would be like, all right, I gotta stop at the store and grab some more. It would always fail by the time like noon came. I was like, I can't do this. Yeah, that was definitely that, and like how it felt psychologically, like just the depression and stuff that arises from it. Like
Oh
it was
yeah.
definitely like,
Anxiety.
yeah, it definitely also just, man, I couldn't shit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I could not. It was like, it was terrible. I was like, that part was really like bad because it was like
Yeah,
just like
constipated.
constipated constantly. I'm like, God, I must be really sick or something. I got like a fever. I can't, my stomach hurts all the time. Like, yeah. And honestly, I don't think that like my stomach problems ever really went away after it either. Like, I still feel like I have a lot of those like gastrointestinal issues, like where I like am constantly going through like stomach problems
Yeah,
even
your
now,
stomach hurts all the time.
all the time still.
Yeah.
Like, even though I'm like a year sober, it's
Yep.
like every single day, like it still hurts.
The literal, so like I had major gastrointestinal issues
Yep.
at 23 years old. I had a colonoscopy and an endoscopy to try to figure out what was wrong with me from opiate use disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's literally the same thing.
I'm going to get like, I'm going to a GI doctor and getting like all that stuff done next month. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell me about finding recovery from this, right? So you're looking at it, you're in school, you're working on a job, and you're like trying to maintain this normal sense in your life, right? But you have this like underlining addiction to kratom,
Yeah.
right? And you're trying to get off of it, you're struggling. Bring me to that moment of getting off of it and making that change in your life.
I think so. I was a couple weeks into school at that point. And I just was looking at like where my life was, and I just couldn't see myself being able to live like that. Like, there was no, like, at that time I'm living at home. I got no bills. I got like still don't, but you know, like, I got no bills. All my money is just going to Kratom, and it's not like I'm not making enough money to be able to like save, and I wasn't going to be able to live like that. And I also just, it just physically, it was just too, every single morning, like it just got to the point where I like the high from it wasn't worth it, because you again, like the partial opioid agonist part of it, like I was, getting still that like warm, like honey type of feeling just over my body when I finally took it. But after that, it was just maintenance. Like it just, I'm just always maintaining. And I started like just looking at videos of people who, were just going through addiction and stuff like that. I saw some people like with opioid addiction and like related to a lot of it. And at that time, I really didn't know much about like what Kratom was or anything. I still was like, what is wrong with me? Like, why am I getting addicted? Because I had friends that were doing it and not getting physically addicted. They were, but they weren't doing it like I was. They were like keeping it to where I was at the start, where it's like, I'm going to take it once a week or something like that. They never got to the point where I was, but they also, like, even them, like they did it like very small bits of time. Like, I've asked them about their withdrawal symptoms, and they do have, like, even though minor, like, just that, like, the runny nose, the like just the constant like cold feeling, just that. And they got it just after taking it for like 3 days, 4 days in a row. And it's that fast that like, it starts to set in. I just felt like one day I just couldn't go anymore. I had gone, 1 or 2 weeks in the past where I had like quit it and gone back. I was looking at myself. I couldn't become an adult. Like I was getting ready for my last semester of community college. Like my last year of community college. I had to get my shit together in my head, and I don't think that I went about it the right way. I don't think so, because I am a person that just doesn't search for help. Like, I was embarrassed of it. Like, I just came forward with my dad a week or so ago. I just was never really able to have the heart to tell anybody that wasn't also an addict, you know, like, and addicted to Kratom. So I kind of just did it on my own. I talked to my therapist. That's like the one, I talk to her every day, but it was like the most painful process ever. And I think that that was partially because I did it on my own. It was like, woke up every day for like weeks just wanting to die. Like, it's just, when you do it on your own, you feel alone.
Yep.
Like, I've seen a lot of people, like, especially like, you know, going to AA and stuff. How I recovered, I don't think is as, like, I need to do more with my recovery. And that's why, like I said at the beginning, I'm still like, when it comes to Kratom, I still feel like I'm in like, I'm still recovering very much from it, because
tell me about that. What is that feeling like? Like feeling like you're like a newly recovery, right?
Yeah. It just feels, it feels a little like obviously, like, I see all these people in AA, like, and I've only been coming for a very short amount of time.
Yep.
And like, everybody just seems so, like, such like positivity there. I just think, like, when I go in there, sometimes I'm a little embarrassed sometimes, like, about like the fact that I didn't feel like, I didn't go to anybody. I didn't use any tools. And I don't think that, like, where I'm at is at the same place as if I did use a lot of the tools that are available out there. I feel like when I think about my addiction, a lot of the times it still feels very with me. Like, I think about, like, whenever I go to grab a vape, you know, like, it's all just right there too. And every single time I pass like the store or something, like, I just get like that feeling, that like anxious feeling. It's not like an urge, it's an anxiety. And I do think that there is a problem. Like, I think that, you know, getting sober, everybody has their own way of doing it.
Yes.
But doing it alone is something that I don't think people, I wish that I didn't, is basically what I'm trying to get to, is that I wish I didn't do it alone.
Let me offer you some insight if you're open to it.
Yeah.
So I see you around a lot of 12-step groups, right?
Yeah.
That's really how we connected, right? Through mutual friends. So you coming on here today and sharing your experience, right? I was looking for an expert in this, the Kratom matter.
Yeah.
When it's been around a lot more lately, I'm like, I want to learn more, right?
Yeah.
So I can help more people. I see you fully engaged in recovery today.
Yeah. Thank you.
You know what I mean? So, you know, it's like, it's never too late, and there's never so recovery is not a this or a that kind of thing, right? It's a both and.
Yeah.
So like for me, like, I got back into therapy at 7 years sober and started to work through certain issues and certain things, right? Like, I struggled really bad with depression and anxiety, and at 8 years sober, I got on an SSNRI, right, to help with that, right? Same thing. I got on a medication to help with PTSD, right? And like, it really helped, you know, at 8 years sober, right? It's never too late to ask for help. Yeah. Right. And certain addictions are different too, right? Like nicotine addiction, right? Yeah. So I haven't done heroin in almost a decade. Smoking cigarettes or, you know, quitting nicotine in all forms is like literally one of the hardest things. And I don't know what I'm going to do when it comes down to that day where I have to give it up again. Right. Yeah. Like, I can give it up for periods of time or whatever. Right. But like, you know, so, and you hit the nail on the head too. So finding recovery is really different for everybody, right? So that is a theme too recently, where people find recovery and they're kind of out and about on their own. Yeah. And then they find their way into like a 12-step or a recovery community center or something like that. And you're like, wow, like, this is cool, right? Yeah. You know, we only know what we don't know. Yeah. Right? Yeah. You didn't know about that form of recovery till you got there and were part of it. And you're like, wow, this is nice.
It like, I remember going to like the first meeting and I was like, wow, this is like so it's just like so different. And I know my friend who just got clean recently, he's going through he went through he had to go to rehab for about 2 months for it. Like, it's definitely like people are going to rehab like
for
Kratom, like a lot.
Wow.
Like there's a lot of people going into actual rehab for it, and he's been in AA now like a month, and he's like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me, like just having these people around me,
having
like,
sober friends, having and especially being young, right? So we live in this world, right, where we come from, like my friends drank and used drugs like I did. Otherwise, they would think I was crazy and not hang out with me. Right? You know, if you can't beat them, join them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you find recovery. For me, it's abstinence-based recovery, like getting sober, free of all substances, you know, really except for caffeine and nicotine. Right? Those are the two things that, you know, I'm always trying to limit. Doing a little harm reduction with caffeine, nicotine, right? But like finding recovery, getting sober, being abstinent, it's like, well, hang on, like, I'm not going to fit into a crowd of people who use drugs and alcohol every day, right? Where the hell do I go with my life? Then all of a sudden you're like, well, you know, I don't want to do 12-step recovery or this type of recovery because it's, you know, whatever preconceived notion that we have in our head. And then we get in there and like people are like nice to us. And I'm like, wow, like, this isn't half bad.
Yeah, it's like, there was like the stigma in my mind that was like, you know, I just get over it. You know, you go ahead, get over it, and move on with life. And that's not something that you can do with addiction. You can't just get over it and move on with life. You know, it's with you. You got to continue. You know, you always got to keep on going to the next day.
If somebody came in here in their first 24 hours of recovery, what do you think the best piece of advice or support you could give them would be?
It's going to get better. It's going to get better. Once you make it to the second day, you can see the third. And once you get to the third day, you can see the fourth. Just think about tomorrow morning. Think about how much more better that morning's going to be than the last morning.
Dude, you're awesome. You're amazing. Thank you so much for the Kratom education. Thank you so much for the recovery advocacy and telling your recovery story and your experience. Congratulations on actually a year free of Kratom yesterday. Right?
Yeah.
Dude, that's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.